A very good morning to all my dear children. So, today we are going to do the last part of explanation for the lesson number 4 from the diary of Anne Frank from your main textbook, The First Flight. Children, we have seen in the previous videos about Anne Frank's diary entry that she says that she finds it really strange while writing a diary because she had never written it before, and she feels that later on nobody will have interest in the musings of a 13-year-old girl. But still she finally decides to write the diary entry because she feels that paper has more patience than people. Then she thinks that she don't want to keep it a very formal diary entry like others do. She says that she feels her diary to be her best friend until she really finds a really true friend. So she calls the diary as Kitty. She thinks that before writing a diary entry, she should give a brief introduction, brief life sketch of the people of her life, in her life. So she gives a brief description about her family, saying that she has a father, mother, her elder sister Margot, and granny too in the family. She says that she has few of her friends, few people around her whom she calls her friend, but she still says that she is alone in this whole world because she feels that there is no real friend in her life. Now she tells us that about Margot and her birth in Frankfurt, Germany. Then she talks about her primary schooling and high school schooling. Then she tells us about her granny's death. That was a big loss in their life. So till 20 June 1942, she tells us, she gives a brief description of her family, and she says that now they are a happy family and they are doing well. So till here we have done. Children, now we are going to read one of the entries in her diary, that is on Saturday 20 June 1942. She writes, "Dearest Kitty, our entire class is quacking in its boots. The reason, of course, is the forthcoming meeting in which the teachers decide who will move up to the next form and who will be kept back. Half the class is making bets. Gian and I laugh ourselves silly at the two boys behind us, Cian and Jax, who have staked their entire holiday savings on their bet. From morning to night, it's "You're going to pass? No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not." Even G's pleading glances and my angry outburst can't calm them down. If you ask me, there are so many dummies that about a quarter of the class should be kept back. But teachers are the most unpredictable creatures on earth. So, here we come across certain new words like quacking in boots means very nervous. Then staked means to bet, to take a chance. Pleading we come across, that means emotional appeal. Glances, we know, a hurried look. Then outburst means release of strong emotions. Then dummies, you know, children, we you must have seen dummy phones. That means they are similar to, they resemble to the real one, but they are not the real. That is, they are substitute to the real. Unpredictable means which cannot be predicted. That is, they are prone to change. So on June 20, 1942, children, Anne begins writing in her diary, addressing it as her friend Kitty. Now she mentions how her entire class is nervous about the results. It is really unpredictable and will be decided by a meeting of teachers in which they will select students to be moved to next class or to be kept back. Right now, many students were making bets on it whether they are going to pass or not. Some had put in their entire summer savings at stake. That means, you know, when you are going for holidays and your grannies and your aunts and your uncles, they give you with some money, right, for spending during the vacation. So you, what many of you spend it at the moment, and many of the children, they save it. So those who have saved it, now they are betting over it with that money. whether they are going to pass or not. Now, you know, Anne Frank and her friend G, they also made fun of the nervous boys, those who were, betting over will they pass or not. They kept on saying to each other that I'm not going to pass, while others would console them and say, yes, you would. G was really polite as she tried to stop them from making noise, while Anne scolded them, but none of it worked. Now, according to Anne Frank, about a quarter of class should not be allowed to pass because they hardly respond or take part in any of the activities. So, thus, she refers to them as dummies. But this may not be the case because teachers' decision cannot be predicted. That is why she said the most unpredictable creatures on earth are teachers. Right. I'm not so worried about my girlfriends and myself. We'll make it. The only subject I'm not sure about is maths. Anyway, all we can do is wait. Until then, we keep telling each others not to lose heart. So, not to lose heart means not to be discouraged. So, the author says that she is not bothered about her friends because she is sure that they will pass. The only subject that she is unsure about is mathematics. She seems to be she seems to be having a tough time with the subject, but all they could do was wait for the results and not to lose their hope. I get along pretty well with all my teachers. There are 9 of them, 7 men and 2 women. Mr. Keesing, the old fogey who teaches maths, was annoyed with me for ages because I talked so much. After several warnings, he assigned me extra homework and essay on the subject. A chatterbox. A chatterbox? What can you write about that? I would worry about that later. I decided. I jotted down the title in my notebook, tucked it in my bag, and tried to keep quiet. So here we come across new words like old and foggy means old fashioned, annoyed means irritated, chatterbox, a person who likes to talk very much. That means talkative people are called chatterbox. Then jotted down means to write down. So here she says that she tells us how she has a great relationship with all her teachers except the maths professor. He was constantly irritated by the author's talkativeness despite several warnings and did not stop talking in Mr. Keesing's classes, which prompted him to give her extra homework as punishment. The first one was to write an essay on chatterbox, which she thought was a weird topic to write on because she could not write one like that was a topic on which nobody can write easily. That evening, after I had finished the rest of my homework, the note about the essay caught my eye. I began thinking about the subject while chewing the tip of my fountain pen. Anyone could ramble on and leave big spaces between the words, but the trick was to come up with convincing arguments to prove the necessity of talking. I thought, and suddenly I had an idea. I wrote the 3 pages Mr. Keesing had assigned me and was satisfied. I argued that talking is a student's trait and that I would do my best to keep it under control. So here we come across that there are certain new words like rambling. Ramble means to talk or write at length in a confused or inconsequential way. That means to write long sentences without any meaning. Convincing means capable of causing someone to believe that something is true or real, right? Then trait means quality. Inherited means derived genetically from one's parents or ancestors. So the author comes across the note she made as a reminder for the essay after she had finished the rest of her homework. She began thinking about the topic while chewing the tip of my fountain pen. Now, this is a gesture that signifies a person is in deep thinking. While anyone could mention random stuff written for the sake of filling pages, she wanted to present concrete arguments in support of talking. She mentioned that she will try to better herself as a student, but talking is something that cannot be eliminated completely. This is because she got it as an inherited trait from her mother, and this is how she ended up writing 3 pages on the topic. So, here, but that I would never be able to cure myself of the habit since my mother talked as much as I did, if not more, and there's not much you can do about inherited traits. So the inherited traits are the traits that one has got from genetics, right? Mr. Keesing had a good laugh at my arguments, but when I proceeded to talk my way through the next lesson, he assigned me a second essay. This time it was supposed to be an incorrigible chatterbox. I handed it in, and Mr. Keesing had nothing to complain about for 2 whole lessons. However, during the third lesson, he had finally had enough, and Frank, as punishment for talking in class, write an essay entitled Quack Quack Quack, said Mistress Chatterbox. So, here we see new words like proceeded means to begin, then incorrigible, not able to be changed. So, and mistress means a woman in a position of authority or control. So, the second time she was given an essay about writing an essay about incorrigible chatterbox. So, indirectly, he was trying to tell Anne that she is really a chatterbox. First of all, she was made to write an essay on chatterbox, then second time an incorrigible chatterbox. That means one who cannot be corrected. Then third time, when after 2 lessons, when she still continued talking, Mr. Keesing gave her for the third and final time that write an essay and whose topic will be quack quack quack, said Mistress Chatterbox. So the professor found Anne's arguments to be really amusing, but when she did not stop talking in the next 2 lessons, also he gave her yet another assignment as punishment. The topic was an incorrigible chatterbox. Now, incorrigible refers to a bad habit that is difficult to change. He gave her this topic because he was annoyed of her unstoppable chattering during his lessons. On receiving this assignment, the professor did not say anything to her for a while. But when he lost his patience, he handed her yet another assignment as punishment on the topic quack quack quack, said Mistress Chatterbox. Now, the class roared. That means the class laughed very much. I had to laugh too, though I had nearly exhausted my ingenuity on the topic of chatterboxes. So I told you roared means laughed very much. Okay. So the class laughed very much. Even she laughed along with the class. She says that although it was really ingenuine for her to laugh, but she, along with the class, she laughed because now on the topic chatterboxes, there was nothing much left. She had written everything that she could write about it. Now, again, the final topic is also on the chatterboxes. So it was time to come up with something else, something original. My friend Sane, who's good at poetry, offered to help me write the essay from beginning to end in verse, and I jumped for joy. Mr. Keesing was trying to play a joke on me with this ridiculous subject, but I would make sure the joke was on him. So, when the professor scolded her for the third time and punished her, the whole class started laughing. As a result, she had to pretend to be amused too. Now, after writing twice on similar topics, she ran out of thoughts. Thus, her friend Sen, who was good at poetry, offered to help her write in rhyme. This whole scenario was to make Anne Frank feel ashamed, but she made sure that she gave an effective reply. I finished my poem and it was beautiful. It was about a mother duck and a father swan with three baby ducklings who were bitten to death by the father because they quacked too much. Luckily, Mr. Keesing took the joke the right way. He read the poem to the class, adding his own comments and to several other classes as well. Since then, I have been allowed to talk and haven't been assigned any extra homework. On the contrary, Mr. Keesing's always making joke these days. Yours, Anne. Now, see, children, what has happened here is she finally wrote her third assignment in the form of a poem, which turned out to be a great one. She wrote a satire that a father swan bit his three baby ducklings to death because of their noisy nature. To her good luck, the professor took it very lightly. The professor recited the entire poem in front of the class while giving his own remarks simultaneously. So he was so much impressed by the poetry. Now, the author, being fortunate enough, talked uninterruptedly after this incident without any further homework as punishment. Also, Mr. Keesing, the professor, started cracking jokes every now and then in front of the class with and so now thus it became easy for N. Children, with this we complete our lesson here, and inshallah in the next video I'll be giving you question and answers for this lesson. If you have any doubt, please do mention in the comment section. Thank you and have a great day ahead.